Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
A Time for True show is sponsored by the Office of Dr. Bernard Fialkoff, a periodontal, dental implant and laser specialist in New York City, for over 40 years. Dr. Fialkoff was honored by the International College of Dentists and Pierre Fauchard, and received the Presidential Lifetime Humanitarian Honor from the White House. Call us at 718-229-3838.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome, A Time for Truth. And you know, tonight's show is exactly that. We got to get some truth. We got to start moving in the right direction. We have tremendous technology, tremendous amount of innovation, but we've got to get some humanity in terms of the real necessities and vital, crucial points that have to be in our society. And tonight happens to be about that exact point, which is the illicit drug problem. Why? Because in Vietnam, over 10 years, we lost 58,000 young Americans. And rightfully so, people were protesting and marching, so more Americans wouldn't die. So that's 58,000. If you divide 10, it's 5,800 per year. Last year, we lost 80,000 Americans, many young Americans. 80,000 is 16 times more than 5,000. But instead of protests and marches and people outcry to not have any more of our youth dying, what's happening? We've got legalization. We've got internet announcements that it's natural and organic. And that it's going to solve your problems. One famous person that I know that I won't mention said that, well, he had to go back on the drug because people liked him better that way. And I'm thinking, well, my Lord, where have we gone to? So this show is about that, and I'm here with a good friend of mine who's an actor, Sal Rinella. And, let me introduce him to you before we go on with this first video about the Foundation for a Drug-Free World was the solution. But Buddha, let's bring him up on the screen. And, I want to introduce Sal live. Go ahead. Here we go. Sal, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Benvenidos to me and to you. Because I think at some point we're going to pave the way and we're going to welcome ourselves to a beautiful new society. Because it's up to us as artists, humanitarians, which is probably even more important than being an artist is being an activist. And what happens is our responsibility to inject culture into the society. And if you've read some reports with Vietnam, which went on from the mid-50s, almost 20 years.
Long time, yeah.
Drugs were being sold and to each side. Arms were given to both sides. What does that create? A drug-violent society. So, yes, I'm in agreement with you. I'm right behind you, or right next to you.
Right next to us. You know what? And
Yes.
we all need, as we're watching this show, realize that we're going to have to work together. This is
Yes.
not going to happen with one person doing this. The country has 330 million people. The globe has 8 billion people. So we need to really wake up. We need to realize the miracle that we have. And as Sal said, we got to realize that drugs and violence and killing seems to always go along. A statistic you should realize, if you don't know, is, as Sal said, 90% of violence and killing is associated with drug use, which would make sense because really, why would someone kill someone else unless they really were incoherent or irrational from such anger caused by the drug because they already had a situation? But let's take a look, first of all, at this program that Sal and I are proposing for you to do, which is the Foundation for a Drug-Free World, the Truth About Drugs program. The truth about drugs, not a philosophy, but a scientific truth. And let's get what actually a DEA director, Mr. Hunt, said about Drug-Free World. Buddha, let's put on that first video, please.
I'm here with James J. Hunt, who is the special agent in charge of the DEA New York Division. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah. Talk about a little bit about what you do with the drug-free world.
DEA, we're primarily an enforcement agency, a police agency, so we enforce the federal narcotics laws. We basically lock up the biggest drug traffickers in the world. But with that, we know as a police and law enforcement agency, you're never going to tackle the problem of drug abuse alone. So we also work with the educational organizations, rehabilitation organizations. I think it's very important. Educating people like Foundation for Drug-Free World are very important because they help recognize the problem and educate people.
Do you think prevention is the key?
To solving the problem, yes, because police cannot do it alone. There's always going to be bad guys, and we're very good at catching the bad guys. The Chapo Guzmans of the world, they don't get caught. But if they don't have their bad stuff to sell, there's nothing in it for them. So if the market dries up, they're out of business. So prevention is key.
Talk a little bit about, and if this is important to you, when somebody is actually had that history, they've had the drug history, and they go and they talk to the youth, is that different from maybe someone who hasn't? Or, I know a cop, for instance. What would be the difference?
People can learn from people who have beat the problem, beat the addiction, and learn how they did it. Unfortunately, opiates, it's a very, very difficult habit to beat, but some people overcome it. So those people that do, having them go out and talk to people that are struggling with it is key because it gives people hope that somebody can beat it.
Why do you think there's such a, when kids say, oh, they're prescription, or that's, opiates, they're prescribed by a doctor compared to street drugs? Why do you think there's such a, kids don't see that it's all drugs?
Yeah, when kids are young, and I know many young people that start out like this, they started using pills just to get high. They thought because it was pharmacy sold it or a doctor prescribed it, it couldn't hurt you. And they didn't realize what they were getting into. Opiates are very, very strongly addictive. So they played with them like people experiment with alcohol. You can't experiment with opiates. And sooner or later, they found themselves with an opiate addiction. Pills got more expensive, harder to get, and they resorted to heroin. Now they're in the streets injecting heroin in their arm when a year before they would have said, I would never put a needle in my arm. Nobody starts out wanting to be an addict. It happens. They evolve into it.
Do you find and do you see that criminal activity starts first with drugs?
Drug addiction breeds criminal activity. Because what inevitably happens is when somebody gets an addiction, they're not prepared for it. And it gets a hold of them in their lives. So normally they start stealing from their families. That's the model. They start stealing from their families first, grandparents. Then when the family realizes they got a problem, they start hiding stuff away. Now they get more brazen. They start doing burglaries, steal from other people. Mostly friends the first time out. Then when that dries up, then they go to the street, resort to crime. Oftentimes young women resort to prostitution to feed a habit. Men to burglaries, petty crime. So it does fuel crime, definitely.
Tell us why a drug-free world and organizations like a drug-free world are so needed in the country right now.
I think organizations like a drug-free world are paramount. Anytime, and I applaud them, anytime organizations will bring awareness to this problem, private organizations bring awareness to this problem, is key. Cops cannot do it alone.
Thank you so much for what you do.
Welcome, thank you.
Yes, and congratulations on tonight.
Thank you.
So there you go. And that's from a director that has given his life, whose profession it is, whose expertise it was and is, to do something effective about this drug problem that faces our country, which is huge. And, you know, that's what the Foundation for a Drug-Free World is. It's a program that's effective, that reduces by educating, by preventing, which is the solution that the United Nations came up with. And so let's take a look and let's realize that this program, and here I have it in Spanish, it's in English, it's in German, it's in Italian, it's in French, it's in 18 languages and on 16 different drugs. This program is free, and it's a solution to so many of the things that are confronting our families, our communities. And today, Sal and I decided to do something in the middle of the rain that hit New York City, a really quite a heavy rain that it hit. And Buddha, I want you to put the pictures up, not the video, but the pictures. And then I'd like Sal to actually be able to narrate what happened as we went to Harlem. So here we go. So I'm going to turn it over to Sal. Go ahead, Sal.
Thank you, Ben.
What is this?
So we walked out, and as we walked out, we met some people that lived in Harlem. People jumped on the train. That's you, me, and some nice fellas that we met along the road. And I said, this is us leaving some in Taco Bell. I said, let's do it in front of the sign that says the real deal, because we are the real deal. Okay, next one.
That's the next image, Buddha.
Here we are on the street in front of the community center in Harlem, just meeting them. And we're like, all right, let's take a picture. Let's get this ball rolling. These are nice guys. They want to take responsibility for Harlem. Harlem has been beat up. Not a 1-2 punch, but a 1-2-3-4-5 punch. And we met a bus driver today saying many people smoke crack on that line.
And it's amazing when you look at this picture, what we want to get across to you is we never met these three men before. Sal and I and Shelton that you see there in the background with the green hat, we came out of the Harlem Community Center loaded with these boxes of drug education booklets for the stores, which for those of you watching and watch this, you can obtain by going to fdfwamericas@gmail.com. That's fdfwamericas@gmail.com. The engineer will put it on for you later. And you can get these booklets for your store, for your club. And because in San Francisco around the Super Bowl, we got out 1 million of these, and it changed the San Francisco Bay Area. The statistics came down. But what's amazing that Sal and I want to get across to you is these men saw us come out, and out of nowhere, for no reason, said, "What are you guys doing?" And we started this conversation. Let's go to the next image. And so Sal, here we go. What's this, Sal?
We're in another shop, and they were very excited to take some. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Who does not want to jump on this bandwagon of getting rid of the scourge of drugs in Harlem? Harlem had a renaissance, and Ben and I want to bring that renaissance back. Thank you.
Absolutely. You know, let me ask you something, Sal. Stay with the picture, Buddha. I want to ask a question to you because people probably say, well, he's an actor, so he's independently wealthy. He has nothing to do. He's probably hanging out with his actor buddies. And so he figured, okay, might as well just go to Harlem, take the afternoon, relax, you know. But so how is it and why? Because that's not the truth. Why did you take your valuable time, change your schedule, and go to do this?
Because when I met you, and I would come out and do these types of stuff, I mean, this is probably before I even knew about these, but I would do other things, and I would get, if you want to say karma, I would get phone calls to get my career going. Because what happens is, this not only helps me clear my head, I'm helping to help the community. And I think that's just as important as an acting career. I mean, I'm involved in a lot of stuff in the independent world. Every time I do a scene, people give me a big applause. It's, I think, more important than the money right now.
Well, you know, you made a big point because you, in acting, what are you two doing? You're really doing kind of a skit about life. And so here, I think you're even at a higher level because you're doing a live skit with a real situation. It's not a movie. You don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know.
I mean, that guy looks pretty big on the right side there.
Yeah.
But look at that. You know what? You'd say, well, look at that guy. You're dangerous. But the reality is that guy was as friendly as could be and actually relayed how much he enjoyed the program, which is the point we want to get across to everyone watching, is that it unites different nationalities, religions, races, ethnicities, origins. It's amazing, really, that in the middle of the rain today, almost like a torrential rain, that these people came. That young woman you see there, she's from you know, southern
Arkansas,
America, right?
Courtney from Arkansas.
From the South, right?
That's right.
Arkansas.
She joined us today.
Amazing.
It's.
And you're an Italian guy, right?
Well,
we got the little
Italian
mafioso.
America, yeah, that's right.
We got the mafiosos here, you know, and
Listen, Ben, there was a time you go to a ball game and they would say to you, it's Sunday. Go to your church, your tabernacle, or your synagogue community.
that's right.
Now, do churches really want to even talk about drugs? Everything is laissez-faire. Very liberal, very anything goes.
Everything, whatever it is.
Whatever it is we'll handle it. But what happens is we have to be a little bit more astringent about drugs, because what's happening in society, we need to turn it around, 180.
Absolutely. So, Buddha, let's go to the video now, because we have a video, and it was very interesting what occurred, because it was a bonding that occurred within this spontaneous group that we made. Let's play the video of our group speaking at one of the stores that we stopped in to give the Drug Free World booklets.
You know what? We walked out the door, walk in the street, these guys stopped us. What happened? With energy connected, we began to do some positive things in the community that work, giving back, giving information to those that need to understand about the drugs and what's going on in our community, what's safe, what's not, and how to prevent those things that can stop us. And Tom, what have you been doing? Why did you decide to do this, Tom?
We decided to do it because our club is actually taking over the city right now, man. And we gotta get the steps together to figure out a plan to handle the situation. You understand what I'm saying? So now all colors is brainstorming.
And very interesting what he said there. He said something very important, that we were all coming together to brainstorm to handle a common enemy. What do you think of what he said about that?
It was great. It was great. No drugs, more positiveness. I mean, that's what it really is. We really should be doing more things for the kids, because kids have nowhere to go. Like you said before, now you drive around, where's the kids playing? They're on video games, probably
They're
playing.
indoors. They don't play with each other
Grand
anymore.
Theft Auto.
Right.
And who knows what else they're doing and talking.
Well, those shows where they're killing people.
Yeah, a lot of Grand Theft Auto and other TV shows, movies, stuff like that. We really have our work cut out. I think it's serious, but we're having fun doing it. We wanna really
invite you. We
change
enlist
the
you to
tide.
come. Right?
We need your help. We want you guys to become our deputies, because we need help in changing the city back.
It's true. It's like the Wild West. You know, the sheriff couldn't do it on his own. And you know what? A few are not going to do it on their own. You know, we're getting near the end of the show. So let's show you some of the power within this Drug Free World program. There's some public service announcements you can get on YouTube if you look up Drug Free World, or you can go on drugfreeworld.org and get these public service announcements. Let's play the two announcements, Buddha.
They said if I did coke, I could party all night. Have a great time.
I was just loving that. What is that? Come on, girl, you really need to open up.
They said if I did coke, I could party all night. They lied. Find out the truth about cocaine. drugfreeworld.org.
So there's one of them. We'll play another one for you in just a moment. But if we really look at that video, that's a young woman, probably anywhere from 17, maybe 22, somewhere in that range. And you know, Sal, it's like, it looks like a movie, but in real life, that's a young woman, right?
I've seen it happen. I've worked clubs, I've been in clubs, and people OD. They actually, when I was working in clubs in Tampa, Ben, people would come high to the club, ecstasy, whatever.
Sure.
Anything, everything. Because they don't want to spend the money in the club for the drinks, maybe, or maybe they do. But they're out to lunch before they even get to the club.
Right.
I once spent, I was working at the Manhattan Center. They had me go up and down the line, 550 kids, all underage, finding who was drunk and high.
Wow.
And I told them, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hold your place, but you can't come in drunk or high. You're underage. Something happens, liability. You go get some coffee, go eat, go take a walk, or you can't come in.
Right.
I was very nice. I went up and down the line for a few hours because kids were like all over the place.
Well, see, it's very interesting because you used a really rational approach with love involved in it, care, as if that was your nephew, your niece.
Yeah. I mean...
Why didn't you just send them home and say, look, you got to go home?
They paid for a ticket.
Okay.
You got to have some TLC, some care, some affinity, some willingness to let them change.
Right.
Because if we go with the attitude of other people have done in the past, it's this way or no way, we're not going to get anything done.
Exactly right.
Because it's going to be done by gradients, and it's going to be done by confrontable gradient. What can they do this moment where they're not going to lose that spot? Okay, listen, we're going to hold your spot. Hey, kid, you remember this kid? He's going to come back. He's going to go get coffee. He's going to eat a bagel. He's going to walk it off. You have to give people a chance. Otherwise, what are we going to do? Castigate them? We're going to exile them to another planet, another country, another island?
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
So you know what? That's why we're here on this show, and we're asking you to take a look. Go online, drugfreeworld.org. In Spanish is vidasindrogas.org. Check it out. Sal has it there in Spanish. Here you see it in, he has it in English, I have it in Spanish. But the point is this. The point is, check it out. Look at drugfreeworld.org, vidasindroga.org. Evaluate the program yourselves. You're going to love it. And then let's utilize the program. Don't wait for someone else to tell you what to do. Don't ask for permission, because we need to move quickly. Every day goes by. It's not a statistic. It's not a number. It doesn't matter how many hundreds or thousands, because if that was your nephew, if that was your grandchild, it wouldn't have mattered to you how many.
It could be too late, too. What if it's too late, Ben? Right? They go, we had so we buried my mother in 2016.
Yes. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. And the driver of the hearse says, you want to drive up with me instead of in the back. He told me that in the last few months, they had 30-something kids die from fentanyl overdose.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he was telling me on a longer period of time how people from mid to late teens to early 30s. This is 2016. The numbers have definitely gone out because what they do, Ben, you ready for this? What they do. You ready for this, folks? What they do is you're doing cocaine. You can't find your dealer. So they put you find somebody else. So they put a little fentanyl so you get this big hit and you go back to that guy. But then a little bit too much, you have a heart attack and die. It happened to my friend Randy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
It is.
So let's watch the last video before the show ends. Let's put on that last video, Buddha.
Pull up your own bootstraps, I'd say.
Nearly half of all public school children in the United States have tried drugs or alcohol by the time they're 13 years old.
A third of teens have gone to house parties where there was alcohol, pot, cocaine, ecstasy, or prescription drugs.
Over half of kids say it would be easy for them to get pot if they wanted some.
7 out of 10 teenagers have been offered an illegal drug.
Teenagers whose parents talk to them about drugs are 42% less likely to use drugs.
Get your kids the truth about drugs. Drugfreeworld.org.
So there you go. The point is this. If a criminal was in your house, you wouldn't sit there and wonder what to do. If some lion was chasing you, you wouldn't think twice. Realize that this drug enemy needs to be confronted quickly. Sal, what closing comment would you like to give our viewers?
Well, first of all, thank you for bringing me into Drug-Free World. I would say don't wait for anyone else to tell you you have a drug problem. You're not going to have some immaculate
realization.
Yeah, you're not going to have anybody come and say, let's all help Joe. It's going to be on Joe, you know. It's not, you can't wait for your family to put you under the shower or put a cold shower. It's up to you. Up to you. Pull up your own bootstraps.
Absolutely. And for those of you who aren't, say, well, I'm not taking drugs. I already know. That's fantastic. So what we urge you to do is get these booklets. They're free to you. Hold a seminar in a sports club, in a dance class, in a church activity, in a synagogue, in a mosque. Do whatever you like in a parade. Have some fun. You're going to find out you're going to get a lot of energy. You'll feel healthier. And from Sal Rinella and I, Dr. Ben Fialkoff, let's create a happy world, a drug-free world. Sound good, Sal?
Ben, thanks again for having me. I think a lot of people are going to start joining us.
Let's do it.
This show was sponsored by A Time for Truth Foundation Incorporated as a community service.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got. But the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet